support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. I want to bring in right now retired Lieutenant General Russel Honore. Glad to have you back on Roland Martin Unfiltered. General, Donald Trump, to Greg's point, said to these white supremacists, these white domestic terrorists, have free reign. I'm going to let you do whatever you want to do. I wouldn't be shocked, General, that the folks who get arrested, he gives them pardons before he leaves.
Well, worse than that, Roland. I think the police department at the Capitol was complicit. I dealt with those people when I was in the Pentagon on the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and we used to provide military support to civil authorities for inauguration and major events inside the city of Washington. And that's a well-oiled machine. And what we saw yesterday, the Capitol Police make decisions in coordination with the Sergeant at Arms in the Senate and the Sergeant at Arms in the House. Yesterday at 3 o'clock, I called for all of them to be fired. And that is starting to happen. They're starting to fire them. But that was complicit. There's people inside the chain of command of that Capitol Police that allowed this to happen. I went into the Capitol, Roland, as 3-star general, 3 stars on each shoulder in full uniform. And them ass hats took a lighter from me. You understand? They selectively applied the law, and they allowed their buddies in yesterday, and they destroyed a good portion of our house. And people need to go to jail. It need to be a DOJ investigation, none of this bullshit Congress investigation. And we need to hold people accountable. We need to catch all their phones, who they were with, their rooms they went to in that Capitol. I used to go in and out. I never know how you'd find your way to some of these rooms. So they had help inside the force, and you could assume about 30% of that force support the guy in the White House. That's just the demographics. And our system failed yesterday.
And that point you made there, again, which is the concern of black people, and that is when you have the law enforcement, you have these individuals who hold the same views. They're very conservative. They are in opposition to Black Lives Matter, in opposition to civil rights. And we witnessed it yesterday. But also what we witnessed, General, was here you had this man, here you had Donald Trump, here you had Rudy Giuliani. They were inciting a riot. Look, I think you tweeted, they should, or someone posted that Donald Trump, Rudy Giuliani, and Donald Trump Jr. should be arrested for causing an insurrection.
Absolutely. I mean, all the lawyers in D.C., you tell me they can't figure it out? They can't figure it out because they don't want to figure it out. Okay? They're trying to hold on until the 20th of January, and Lord knows what this guy could do. As I said last night on a couple programs, this guy still got access to the nuclear code. And he's going around telling his followers, you remember when he told the Proud Boys, I'll call you forward, stand down? He unleashed them yesterday. And basically sent them to go attack the building where the vice president and his family was and the entire United States government, House and Senate. He unleashed the Proud Boys on there, and they got there, and they were welcomed by the Capitol Police. Half of them some bitches ought to be fired.
The woman who was shot and killed, I do want to speak because this is also an issue here. Her name is Ashley Babbitt. Now, here's what's interesting. The U.S. Capitol Police officer who shot and killed her has been placed on administrative leave. But we showed the video, and they've actually posted the video. You actually see what took place. The reason I'm not going to show it, we got basically the YouTube algorithm. We had about 16,000 people on yesterday. They kicked us off And so I don't want to, knock us offline again. We got 10,000 who are on right now. I don't want to do that. But it was barricaded. She jumps up and she's trying to climb through the window, and the officer fires a shot, shoots her in the neck. She dies. But if you look at a lot of her crazy videos, she served in the military, and she's ranting and yelling, going off how this country has been stolen. And that's also part of the deal. There are members of the military who were there yesterday with these Trump people as well.
Yeah, you got a volunteer army, and we, as hard as we try as an institution in the military, diversity and inclusion, and we're going to have our first African-American Secretary of Defense. Among us are people who think more like the demonstrators that were there yesterday. And in their mind, they've got this idea that the election was stolen. What they really are PO'd about is that now the Democrats own the White House, they own the Senate, and they own the House. And they are worried that they will lose their white power. They're worried about losing majority rule in the next 30 to 40 years, because America is changing. And that is what I believe a lot of the believers I talk to, that's the code they talk in, Roland. They don't like the browning of America.
General, from your perspective, what's next? Because here's what I keep saying. These white domestic terrorists, they're not going anywhere. These people are going to cause more mayhem. There's going to have to be a lot more vigilance. There's going to have to be, a lot more focus. And this is where, and here's the other deal. I mean, you still have not had a major news conference from the FBI. You have not. This is why Donald Trump is so dangerous. He is literally preventing the federal government from investigating how they should be doing this here. You cannot convince me under any other president that if there was an insurrection on the day the Congress was in session, the House and the Senate, you would not have someone coming out talking to the American people, giving an update. They found 2 explosive devices near the Democratic National Committee and the Republican National Committee. There was one guy who was arrested with 11 Molotov cocktails. These people were hell-bent on overthrowing the government yesterday.
Roland, there's an old preacher, country preacher down where I come from in Lake Louisiana, used to talk about when bad things happen. How do we take this disaster and use it to learn from and to expose? What happened yesterday in the full view of the world and America with the use of the internet and these phones, it took the sheet off a bunch of people proclaiming themselves to be conservative, and what they are racist. It took the sheet off. And in a way, it happened. I wish it hadn't happened, but the fact that the way it was documented, and it was focused on the people's house with the Senate and the House in session, we probably will extend the life of our democracy another 100 years because of yesterday, because it exposed the BS that's been going on at Mar-a-Lago and all these other places these folks go off and do their planning, that racism is driving the political future of this country, and we have an opportunity now with all 3 branches of government to do something about it.
Well, I believe you're absolutely right. And people have asked me this, General. People have said, Roland, when you saw yesterday, what was your initial response? And I was honest, General. I smiled. And I said, good. because I needed white folks in America to see white folks in America doing what white folks in America have done since the inception of this country. They can't sit here and say it was the blacks. Can't say, oh, it was the browns. No, no, no. They had to be forced to see it. And all of these Republicans who have stood with these people, who have explained them away, who have supported them, who have taken photos with them, they now have to now answer, which side are you on? Which side are you now on? And so there's no separating here. There's no separating whatsoever. They're gonna have to answer that. And that to the point that you just made, I said the same thing. We always knew it. Black folks, we always knew it. But white America had to see the hatred for themselves. And now they got to decide who you gonna roll with, them or us.
Yeah, and they have used this, they stole the election. What they're worried about is losing majority, Roland. They saw what happened in Georgia, what happened in Pennsylvania and other places when people got out to vote and they were organized. And now we've got an opportunity just to change the direction a little bit. Because this is a work in progress, but there is so much evil that has happened in the last 6 months, and we're doing it in the middle of a pandemic. Now, it's routine now to lose 4,000 people a day. We got to get back on that story. And yesterday was a big spreader event. They're all going back to their towns now and taking even more COVID back. And we got to get past the inauguration. And my recommendation to Secretary, to some of the people on the President Biden staff is let's get done with this inauguration. This is a big focus on donors and balls. To hell with all that. Make sure you got your acting Secretary of Defense walking in the Pentagon at 1 o'clock. You're acting Homeland Security. You're acting DOJ. And you're acting FEMA. All those people need to walk in those buildings and take command as soon as the inauguration is over with. So we got control of the government. And all those Trump people need to leave.
I agree 100%. Lieutenant General Russell.
Don't wait overnight. I'm sorry.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I agree, sir. Retired Lieutenant General Russel Honore, we appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Bless you.
Folks, back to that Roland Martin Unfiltered video.
It's time to be smart. When we control our institutions, we win. This is the most important news show on television of any racial background. Y'all put $2, $3, $4, $5, $10, $15, $20, $30 on this and keep this going. What you've done, Roland, since this crisis came out in full bloom. Anybody watching this, tell your friends. Go back and look at the last 2 weeks, especially of Roland Martin Unfiltered. I mean, hell, go back and look at the last 2 days. You've had sitting United States senators today, Klobuchar and Harris. Whatever you have that you can bring to Roland Martin Unfiltered to support it, please do, because this information may literally save your life.
Watch Roland Martin Unfiltered daily at 6 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, or Periscope, or go to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com.